thru-hikers, just like any other community, have their own little specific language with their own jargon, and they speak to each other in a certain way. So if you overhear some thru-hikers speaking and you don't know what the F they're saying, let me help you along. Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Audrey, and on trail I'm known as Glowstick. In 2018, I quit my job in Washington, D.C. to hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. It was magical, and I loved every second. Okay, so let's talk trail terms. When you're doing a thru hike, you could either be going northbound, such as going from Georgia to Maine, or you could be going southbound, from Maine to Georgia. If you're going northbound, you're a nobo or a northbounder. If you're going southbound, you're a sobo. Some people say soboer. I don't, I just say sobo. People also do thru hikes in unconventional ways. Aside from a nobo or a sobo, you could be a flip-flopper. So that's someone who does a thru hike but not in a straight line. So they might start in Harper's Ferry and go south to Georgia, and then they might flip back up to Katahdin in Maine and then hike southbound to Harper's Ferry or something like that. Trail angels are the best people on the planet. They are people usually in nearby communities who just love to help hikers. They help them with rides, they help them with food, they help them when they're in need of something. And they do this because they love the trail community and they're just, as the name says, angels. Trail angels often will bring trail magic to the trail. Trail magic is usually food, but it's some sort of magical something or other that thru-hikers are given just out of the goodness of people's hearts. So people will bring big spreads of food out to the trail for hikers. They'll bring coolers with cold drinks and leave them behind. They'll bring snacks and leave them behind. When I was hiking through Massachusetts, I was doing my longest day ever, a 30-mile day. And my friend Chef and I were hiking into the night. I was so exhausted. The terrain was not easy, and 30 miles is a freaking long time. And there in the middle of the night, we found a huge trash can full of every type of treat you could ever imagine. Like little Debbie stacks of every freaking variety. Maple sugar candy, because we were in the north. So many different kinds of chips. Gosh, I don't even remember. I just remember thinking like, if ever the trail provided, the trail has provided right now. It was just exactly what I needed to finish this 30-mile day, which was a personal challenge for me. And it was just wild that that is the time that we found this giant trash can full of snacks. It was wild. Anyway, so that's trail magic. And thru-hikers often say the trail provides. The trail doesn't necessarily provide what you want. The trail provides what you need. Remember that. A trail family or tramily is the people that you hike with, camp with, go to town with, share hotel rooms with, and they very quickly become your soulmates. Ah, love my trail family so much and I miss them. Your trail name is the name that you are given on the trail. And yes, people really do go by trail names. If people didn't meet me at the beginning of the trail or follow me on social media, they wouldn't know my given name. They would only know my trail name. So my trail name is Glowstick, and I was named Glowstick because the first night in Springer Mountain, I found a bright yellow glowing glow stick in my tent because I hadn't opened it since being at a music festival the previous fall. And I also got off the trail to go to a music festival and a wine festival. So Glowstick was fitting. And once I was named Glowstick, I went by Glowstick for the remainder of the trail. And everyone called me Glowstick. Like no one ever called me Audrey. It was really fun. It was really weird to start being called Audrey again. When I was in Vermont, I ran into a guy who had worked at the same summer camp as me, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, are you Audrey from this camp in Tennessee?" And I was like, yeah, but it was super weird because I was like, no one had been calling me Audrey for months. It was like I very quickly took on this trail name, and I feel like your identity becomes that trail name. Like you become a different person on the trail. Your trail self and your trail name are kind of one. Oh, and you're not supposed to give yourself a trail name. You can, but it's frowned upon. What's supposed to happen is you're supposed to be named on the trail by someone else, and then you can decide to accept or decline the name. So my friend Ibex named me, and I named my friend Girl Scout, which I'm very proud of because it fits her so well, in my opinion. A 0 day is a day that you do not hike at all. So usually you take 0 days in towns while you're doing your laundry and resupplying and showering and all that good stuff. But some people take zeros in the woods too, just for the fun of it. I probably would have if it hadn't been so rainy on my thru hike. Nero days are near 0 days. So it's where you hike just a few miles. Again, usually you'll hike a few miles to get into town, or my tramily sometimes did Nero days to get to a swimming hole, and we would stay there and swim for the day, something like that. But usually when you're going into town or coming out of town. Aqua blazing, this is where you do a section of trail by boat. So supposedly there's a section of the Shenandoah that you can do by canoe or kayak, although you couldn't my year because we had so much rain, the water was too high. Yellow blazing is where instead of hiking a section of trail, you ride that section in a car. Very frowned upon. Blue blazing is where you skip a section of the trail, but you do it by hiking a different trail. So you kind of go around a section of trail for some reason via another trail. So you might do that if there's, something else that you want to see on this other section of trail, or you don't want to go up and over this tough mountain, so you take a trail that's easier. Again, that is frowned upon. Pink blazing is where you are chasing a girl on the trail for romantic reasons. Also frowned upon. Don't be a creep. Banana blazing is where you are doing that same thing, but you are chasing a guy. I would not recommend that either. Your base weight is the weight of your pack minus your consumables. So that's your water, your food, your fuel, your toothpaste, things like that. Cowboy camping is where you sleep outside with no tent, no tarp. It's just you, your sleeping pad, your sleeping bag under the sky, which I've done before, but not while thru hiking because again, the AT was way too rainy. Anyway, those are all the trail terms that I have for you. Let me know in the comments if any of these aren't clear or if you think that I forgot anything important. I'm sure that I did. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do me a favor and like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you and see you all later.